Hi, my name is Bob Hill. I'm the president of the Church of Scientology Mission of Riverdale at 308 Broadview Avenue in Toronto. We're going to do a Sunday service this morning, and the service today is going to be on you as a spiritual being. Now that's a big mouthful to talk about. Have you ever wondered if there's something more to you than your body? Have you ever considered that those emotions you feel are something more than an object or something more than a bunch of chemicals in a big sea? Have you ever thought about that? Or maybe you've had the experience of feeling like you weren't in your body. Maybe you felt outside of it. You may have had that happen. Now, today, we're going to address and we're going to talk about those things. Because truth be told, you are a spirit and you are independent of your body. And that's where Scientology comes into the picture. Scientology is a practical religion. It teaches a person how to know. And that's what the word means, knowing how to know. So we, as a group and as an organization, work towards you becoming more conscious of yourself spiritually and knowing what you're about. So today's sermon is taken from the Scientology Handbook. Now it's taken from a chapter written by L. Ron Hubbard, and it's called Assist. Now, in this chapter, he goes into the fact of you being a spirit. So I'm just going to go over it with you if that's all right with you. Okay? Great. Now, all Scientology processes address and handle a wide range of conditions affecting the spirit, the being himself. So now when we talk about that, if a person has pain in their body, the spirit is pulled in and is stuck on that pain or that feeling or that sensation or even the emotion of a threatened loss of the body. And so with Assist, you can A, help to relieve the pain in the area of the body or the feeling, and B, help to allow the spirit to get their attention outward again, instead of being focused inward. Now the spirit in Scientology is called the Thetan, by which is meant the person himself, not his body or his name, the physical universe, his mind, or anything else. It is that which is aware of being aware, the identity which is the individual. The term Thetan was coined, that means it was constructed, to eliminate any possible confusion with older, invalid concepts. It comes from the Greek letter theta, okay, which the Greeks used to represent thought or perhaps spirit, to which an N was added to make a noun in the modern style used to create words in engineering. So you had the Greek word theta, thought, life, the spirit. We added an N to make a noun, and so you have the word Thetan. All right? Now, let's look at that. You know how sometimes you feel certain things coming at you, and you have emotions or sensations or feelings. Have you had that? Yeah, you have. Now, that alone should tell you that you are more than, say, a table or a chair. Does that table or chair have the ability to have those emotions? No, it doesn't. Ask your table, you won't get an answer. But ask a person, a living person, and you get an answer. Probably the greatest discovery of Scientology and its most forceful contribution to the knowledge of mankind has been the isolation, description, and handling of the human spirit. In Scientology, it can be demonstrated that thing which is the person, the personality, is separable from the body and the mind at will and without causing bodily death or mental derangement. Now, you've heard about people having out-of-body experiences. It didn't necessarily harm them. And there are many, many documented cases of that. In Scientology, we have the technology and the tools so that that separation can occur with ease and the person can feel a great relief in knowing it. In ages past, there's been considerable controversy concerning the human spirit or soul, and various attempts to control man have been effective in view of his almost complete ignorance of his own identity. So as long as people have that ignorance of themselves as a spirit and they don't acknowledge it, then they are easily controlled and easily swayed and easily boxed into things. So if I get you to the point where you're willing to say, okay, I'm an object, I'm nothing but this thing that's motivated by a sea of chemicals, then I can be easily controlled and easily put at effect. Now, if I'm aware that I'm spiritual and that yes, I can come up the scale and become more conscious, then I become more and more harder to be able to told that this is the way something is, or be given an untruth and accept it. So as you become more conscious, you also become more aware of truth and facts, and you're more easily able to observe. So you stop getting into all that herd mentality, okay? No, now as you know that you are where you are at this moment, so you would know if you, a spirit, were detached from mind and body. So when we look at man as a spirit and we bring him to the point where he becomes conscious that he is in the moment and he's conscious that he's observing, he also gains an understanding that wow, I'm not my body. I'm not just a piece of meat. Man had not discovered this before because lacking the technologies of Scientology, he had very little reality upon his detachment from his mind and his body. Therefore, he conceived himself to be at least in part a mind and a body. Now that would not really, if you really take that datum, that if you conceive that you're just a mind and a body, then you have no causation point. So for example, the person who creates a company, was that just a body creating a company or a mind creating a company? Where did these ideas come from? Even if you say, wow, it's obviously comes from the mind, well, what if he never in this lifetime had any reality of that company? Then where did he get the data from in his mind? Interesting concept, isn't it? So the concept that you're a spirit would also acknowledge the fact that you've been around for a long time. There is the possibility that you may have had one or more bodies. You get the idea? So, the entire cult of communism, which we see around us, was based upon the fact that one only lives one life. That's kind of awful, isn't it? That there is no hereafter and that the individual has no religious significance. So, if you take that, the cult of communism, and you let it run in a society, it works very hard at convincing people that they're just bodies and that there is nothing else. and therefore they become easy to control and easy to be put in a bracket of everybody's the same and nobody's different, and we all have to do the same thing, and we all have to wear the same clothes, and we all have to do all these things. That's communism. No ownership, no love, just you're boxed into being what the group mentality or the party politic dictates. Man at large has been close to this state for at least the last century. So close to the state of having no religious significance. The state is of a very low order, excluding as it does all self-recognition. So if you have that occurring in society and in the world around you, you lose self-recognition. You lose the acknowledgement that you are alive and doing something. The Thetan is described in Scientology as having no mass, no wavelength, no energy, and no time or location in space, except by consideration or postulate. A postulate, simply put, is a decision that something will happen. So the Thetan, the spirit, has the ability to postulate, and he can make decisions. So the spirit then is not a thing, it is a creator of things. All right? So keep that in mind. That's today's sermon. That's who you are. You are a creator of things. You're not a robot. You're not a body. You're not hemmed into this being, this stand that I have sitting in front of you. Yes, I have a body. You look at my body and you think, well, okay, that's Bob. Well, that's how I identify myself in the physical universe. However, I am a creator of things. Today I'm creating a Sunday service for you to listen to. You can go out and create as many things as you choose. All right? And just go about doing that. So in other words, make something out of nothing. Don't allow nothing to be made of your something, and carry on. All right? Good. I'll now read to you the creed of the Church of Scientology. We of the Church believe that all men, of whatever race, color, or creed, were created with equal rights. That all men have inalienable rights to their own religious practices and their performance. That all men have inalienable rights to their own lives. That all men have inalienable rights to their sanity. That all men have inalienable rights to their own defense. That all men have inalienable rights to conceive, choose, assist, or support their own organizations, churches, and governments. That all men have inalienable rights to think freely, to talk freely, to write freely their own opinions, and to counter or utter or write upon the opinions of others. You would not have these rights in a communist society. That all men have inalienable rights to the creation of their own kind. That the souls of men have the rights of men. That the study of the mind and the healing of mentally caused ills should not be alienated from religion or condoned in non-religious fields, and that no agency less than God has the power to suspend or set aside these rights overtly or covertly. And we of the Church believe that man is basically good, that he is seeking to survive, that his survival depends upon himself and upon his fellows in his attainment of brotherhood with the universe. And we of the Church believe that the laws of God forbid man to destroy his own kind, to destroy the sanity of another, to destroy or enslave another soul, to destroy or reduce the survival of one's companions or one's group. And we of the Church believe that the spirit can be saved, and that the spirit alone may save or heal the body. All right? Now keep that in mind as you go through the week. You are the creator of things. Scientology has the technology here to free you up from being stuck into all those things that stop you from being that creator that you are. All right? Thank you very much, and that's today's sermon.